too. The Packers D ain't nowhere near that talented.
That's when we had Wilson and Bowman in the middle, and our secondary was nasty. We had
Smith up
Hardball.
front. Yeah, I mean, dude.
We had Gore. We had Kaepernick on the offense. I mean,
oh, Crapper Dick.
Yeah, Crapper Dick now.
Yeah, we refer to him as Crapper Dick.
In the other game, we had number 4 Green Bay beating number 1 Dallas 34-31, in which is probably, I'd say, tied for the best game of the week between Pittsburgh and Kansas City in that game, because Green Bay came out and they started out fantastic. It looked like they were going to whoop the shit out of the Cowboys. Dak Prescott had no answer for Green Bay's defense, and he couldn't do nothing that first half.
And then they came back.
And then that second half, they came up, they woke up, and then next thing you know, they made it a game. Before you know it,
It's 28-28.
it was 28-28, and I'm like, holy shit, where the hell did that come from? And then the finish to that was absolutely crazy.
Yes, it was.
Green Bay went down, kicked the field goal. Now, you got to remember, guys, this is all with about 2 minutes to go in the game. Green Bay goes down, kicks a field goal. Dallas gets the ball back. Dak goes down the field, gets stopped. They kick a 50-yard field goal. So now it's 31-31. You're thinking, 35 seconds left. Green Bay's got 2 timeouts. You're thinking, oh, crap.
You just gave the ball to Aaron Rodgers with time on the clock and timeouts.
You can't do that.
No, fuck no.
See, and Aaron Rodgers does what Aaron Rodgers does in true Aaron Rodgers fashion. He gets sacked on 2nd down and on 3rd down in a bunch. He throws a deep
fucking
pass. Rainbow pass to the sidelines. And the guy catches it. And I mean, barely, like, back feet just dragging. Gets the 1st down. About 36 yards up the field. Just enough to put him within a 52-yard field goal. Guy comes out. Goes to take the field goal. Boom. You think he made it. Yes. Game over. Nope. Dallas calls timeout. He's got to do it all over again. Comes out. Kicks the ball. You're thinking, oh shit.
Drills it.
It's going left. It starts to, like, it wants to go left. And all of a sudden it just kind of veers back. And it went right through just the corner and drilled it. And I could not believe it. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was on the sideline hugging his offensive coordinator. They bombarded the kicker Crosby. I mean, it was just one hell of a finish. And I'm telling you, Cowboy fans and Cowboys, you have nothing to hang your head about. You guys had one hell of a season for having a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back on your team. You guys have nothing to be ashamed of.
You'll be right back there next year.
You'll be back there next year because, trust me, the NFC East is not that great.
And not only this, let this be a lesson to all the coaching staffs out there. Because most kickers are expecting you to freeze them if you have timeouts, here's a hint. Don't do it. They're already expecting you to do it, and you're going to fuck their little routine up. Have you not noticed that most of the times now when they freeze the kicker, before they even fucking call it, he was already going to miss it. Like, I've seen so many kicks, and he goes to kick it, and they blow the whistle, and he goes through the motion, and listen, that shit would have sailed so far one way it wasn't funny, but then they fucking unfreeze. Look, once he knows that you've already froze him, he gets his nerves back down, boom, they always drill it. So, little coaching tidbit out there to all you people who apparently are smarter than me and have those jobs. You're apparently not all that smart because, God damn it, if you just watch a couple games, you'll realize that shit happens frequently. Stop fucking icing the kickers. They're already fucking shanking them anyway. You don't need to do it.
So that now brings us to the championship round. We have the NFC game will be first. We have number 2 Atlanta versus number 4 Green Bay being played in the Georgia Dome. And this is actually the last year they're going to be in there.
That's true.
Moving to their new stadium, which is amazing. I saw the inside of it and everything when they did a tour. That place is absolutely amazing. It might be better than, I dare to say it, Arlington Stadium.
Nah, nothing's going to beat Jerry World. Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of maybe have to agree with you. I don't know. I mean,
it's nice, but it ain't Jerry World.
You don't have the big plasma like he has on there.
And not only that, just when you think that you're going to outdo him, that man will spend another $1 billion just to fucking show you that you're not Jerry Jones.
We have that game that starts at 3:30 this week on Sunday. And then they have the AFC Championship game. We have number 1 New England versus number 3 Pittsburgh. That game starts at 6:40. I'm liking right now, so far, just to let you guys know, I do a thing with my dad every year. We pick the games just straight up. Who's going to win, who's going to lose. And so far, I'm undefeated in the playoffs right now, which is not bad.
Hell no, that's actually pretty nice. Be sitting undefeated so far.
And what's crazy is last year, I only got one wrong last year.
Nice.
I had a New England Kansas City game. I'll never forget it because I was down here watching the playoffs. Not last year, before that.
Right.
I was watching the playoffs, and I remember telling you, like, I was like 13-1, but I thought Kansas City was going to upset New England in the playoffs, and they didn't. They almost did, but New England was just a better team that day.
True. Personally, after what we're thinking, I don't know. I think we're looking at a Pittsburgh-Atlanta Super Bowl.
See, I'm going more opposite. I'm going New England, Atlanta Super Bowl.
So, yeah, so neither of us think Green Bay is going to watch. It's going to end up being Green Bay and Pittsburgh again.
I don't know if I want to see that again.
I would like to see Green Bay, New England. I don't know if I want to see Green Bay, Pittsburgh, too.
How about Green Bay, New England?
That's what I'm saying. I could do that. That would look pretty cool. I could even do Atlanta, New England. But I hate to tell you, if Atlanta plays New England, man, Bill Belichick's got a penchant for fucking quarterbacks up, dude. I mean, if anything, he's going to literally make Matt Ryan beat him through and through. And I don't know if he can do it, dude.
And see, I'm thinking the opposite, where as far as Tom Brady having a lot of his keys not around, I mean, yes, they are winning. They beat Houston by 18 points, but that's Houston. I mean, they're kind of a depleted team with a quarterback that's not that great.
But they got a good defense.
But they have a good defense, and defense kept them in that game. Just New England is just that team that, I see a lot of holes in their offense, and I think Brady's going to struggle against Atlanta's defense, because Atlanta defense, if they play like they played last week, they're going to beat New England. And I truly believe that.
Well, we've already seen the formula on how you beat Tom Brady. It's very simple. Your defense has got to be aggressive. You have to literally show him no respect. You can't be intimidated or scared. You got to go in there and punch him right in the fucking mouth, and you got to keep punching him in the mouth, because if you don't, he'll beat you. I mean, you got to outcompete him, and that's hard to do, man. It's not easy to do that. That's why that some bitch is quite possibly going to another Super Bowl and could quite possibly win another Super Bowl. And then if he does, he is in unmatched territory. He literally will become the GOAT, and no one can say different.
I actually would have to agree with you and say that I can no longer call my boy Joe Montana the greatest of all time. I'd have to call Brady the greatest of all time. And I told our buddy Adam, who's a huge New England fan.
Oh, and he'd suck Tom Brady's dick if he had a chance.
Oh, yeah, if he had a chance to suck Tom Brady's dick.
Sorry, Adam, you know you fucking would.
We used to joke with him all the time about it. He gets so butthurt about it.
Listen, we all know. It's okay. You had a man crush. It's cool.
We all have that one man crush.
Some of y'all. I don't have no man crush. I'm all about the pussy.
Well, I am too, but I'm just saying most guys, especially in this world that we live in today, some people have man crushes.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Let's move on. So before we get into basketball, I know we said we're done talking football, but I have one more thing that I just found on Fox Sports, and this is actually very interesting. This is coaches that are going into 2017 on the hot seat. So we have Paul Hayes from Kent State. We have David Bailiff of Rice, Mark Whippy of UMass, Doc Holliday, which is an awesome name, from Marshall, Brent Bielema from Arkansas, Hugh Freeze from Ole Miss, Gus Malzahn from Auburn, Todd Graham from Arizona State, Rich Rodriguez from Arizona, Cliff Kingsbury from Texas Tech, Jim Moore from UCLA, I know that's a big
God, a
one.
bunch of big names on the hot seat. God damn.
Starting the 2017 out, not on the good foot.
Ah, damn. Listen, that's a lot of big names about to lose their asses, dude. There's going to be a lot of good coaches up for grabs.
And I still have a couple more to go.
Oh, are you kidding?
No, I'm not joking.
Well, let's see.
We have Steve
Adazio?
Adazio from Boston College.
What?
Kevin Sumlin from Texas A&M. Dave Doran from NC State.
Damn.
Butch Jones from Tennessee. And the
Your
one
boy
that
Brian Kelly.
the one that should have been fired this year but wasn't, Brian Kelly.
Oh my God, dude. That sounds like an all-star game full of coaches, but it's an all-star game of you're fucking fired. Like, Donald Trump's going to have to come out of fucking the Oval Office to fire these sons of bitches. My God. This is unreal, dude. That's a lot of names up.
A lot of big names too.
A lot of big fucking names.
We could be looking at, by the end of 2017 season, a lot of coaches not being where they are this year.
God, there's some big damn names. Yeah, think about it. Half those names you just named off, immediate jobs elsewhere. They will be taken like that. And I'll actually blow your mind. Butch Jones out, and guess who they're thinking about having come back in?
Who's that?
The great Phil Fulmer.
Ugh.
Oh, I know. Don't you just want to throw up some burnt orange?
Oh, you do. That's so horrible.
But what, y'all gonna have Peyton come back and be your quarterback? Get the fuck out of here.
So Les Miles didn't take the job in Minnesota. You think he might be waiting for that job in Notre Dame?
I don't think Notre Dame will have him, but I'll tell you who will. Texas A&M.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, because not only are you giving him another SEC team, but you're giving him the Texas recruiting base, and he can steal them out of Louisiana. Yeah, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
So we'll definitely keep an eye on that for next year and see what's going to happen with these coaches, because a lot of these spots could become open, and a lot of them I think will be filled pretty quickly, especially if they have a big carousel of coaches that go out this year. All the names that we named here, I mean, if you look at all of them, a lot of them could just be swapping positions and going different places.
Honestly, there's a lot of those coaches that, like Steve Adazio, he'll find a job. Kevin Sumlin, he'll find a job if he goes. Brian Kelly, as shitty as he is at the moment, will find a job. There's
Butch Jones.
Gus Malzahn. All these guys find jobs.
Jim Mora.
Maybe.
Rich Rodriguez?
If you're an idiot, he shouldn't find another job. He's an ex-Clemson guy, dude. Like, he was on the Clemson staff under Tommy Bowden. I mean fucking Bobby Bowden's son who wears a fucking dress.
I see the love there.
Oh, listen. Tammy, if you're out there listening, you built the West End Zone. Good for you. You filled the seats. Good for you. We even saw some really pictures of your daughter that somebody put online. That was pretty rotten. She wasn't old enough to be being on there. But I have to give him some hate anyway. I'm sorry. You are just a shadow in the dust of Dabo's greatness.
So, I want to go ahead and start moving into basketball now, because we've talked about everything but basketball on the show. We're supposed to be talking about basketball, and we've just kind of gotten off on our different tangents today.
Well, hey, I mean, we saved what we came to do for last. I mean, we knew this was going to be a stacked show. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
I mean, we figured maybe an hour and a half to between 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we had a lot to cover. There's a lot of things that we wanted to talk about, and me and Berger have been talking about branching out into multiple things. I mean, it's a lot of work, but hey, when you love what you do, who gives a fuck?
I remember Tuesday, I sat here and got the whole show together and everything. And you came home Tuesday night, and I showed you the whole show that we were going to do. And you were just like, holy crap, this is a big show.
It was a lot. It really was.
I mean, we had 8 or 9 topics that we wanted to talk about. And, each of them, even if we do 15 minutes each, that's, almost a 2-hour show.
And I want you guys to remember, we're not Vegas guys.
We're just 2 guys from South Carolina.
Making picks.
Doing what we love.
That's it. There ain't no bullshit. There ain't no bunkum. There ain't no gimmicks. There ain't no flim-flam. There ain't no shit.
So, let's go ahead and move into basketball. And one big story happened this week. North Carolina, Roy Williams got his 800th win as North Carolina defeated Syracuse 83-68 on Monday night.
Well, you know what I got for you, Roy? Here you go. Go fuck yourself. You're a Tar Heel. Fuck you.
When asked about his 800th win, he says, "I haven't changed my beliefs, and I haven't changed the foundation of what I do and what I want to do." Williams is joining greats like Mike Krzyzewski at 1,056 wins, Bobby Knight at 902, Jim Boeheim at 888, Dean Smith at 879, Jim Calhoun at 873, Eddie Sutton at 806, and Bobby Huggins at 806.
There's a lot. That is a list of legends.
List of who.
Oh yeah, like Thud.
Yeah, definitely. Dick on table, Thud.
Yeah, shit goes Thud.
So, congratulations to Roy Williams on getting his 800th win. You know, I know you kind of winding down your career now, and even as last year, you were talking about retiring, but you decided to come back again. So, you know, hopefully you'll be around for a couple more years. You know, maybe
he will. All he fucking does is show up to practice and rolls the ball on the fucking court and says, "Attaboy." He don't do shit. God, see, I'm sorry. I'm breaking up this fucking party. Fuck you, Roy Williams. You're a Tar Heel. I don't give a shit. Fuck you and your neighbor up there in North Carolina thinking that y'all are fucking gods of all the fucking gifts to creation to the ACC. Fuck all of you. I mean, I'm just the whole I-85 corridor through North Carolina. All you sons of fucking whores. Every fucking one of you. Fuck all of you. Duke, North Carolina, the ACC, John Swofford. All of y'all can fuck. You ballless faggots. Y'all can all suck dick.
Speaking of Duke, I know one of the big stories we were talking about last week with our boy Grayson Allen, you know, tripping somebody, you know, numerous times, getting suspended, coming back, and then knocking over a Florida State assistant coach.
Does he look like a bitch?
Yes, he does. Grayson Allen does, in fact, look like a bitch. He is a bitch. He's a punk-ass bitch.
But, I mean, he's playing for the great Mike Krzyzewski.
He's playing for old fucking rat-face, man. You know what? Mike Krzyzewski, for some reason, that little Napoleonic rat-faced fuck, has John Swofford's balls in, like, his hand, just gripped. Because Grayson Allen does... He is a fucking really shit version of J.J. Redick. That's all he is, and that's all Krzyzewski does. He always has that little bad boy shithead. Ever since Leitner, we talked about this. Ever since Leitner, he's had to have him. And you know what? Grayson Allen ain't none of those players, because at least them boys, when they balled, were some tough guys. They could get their asses whooped and come back, and they had that about them. Grayson Allen ain't nothing but a punk ass bitch. And you know what? This motherfucker is gonna. What does he got to do? I mean, he's got to whip his dick out and smack an official in the face with it for y'all to do something. Y'all pussies up there, ACC offices. I'm sorry. You really are. Y'all are all some pussies. You ain't got no balls, no spine, no guts, nothing. You ain't got a fucking pair of testicles between everybody in that office. You probably don't even have fucking vertebrae. It's probably a bunch of fucking lizards.
And that fans right there is how you trigger badass right there. That's how you trigger them. All you gotta say is Duke, Mike Krzyzewski, or Grayson Allen. That's all you gotta say, and that'll trigger them off.
Fuck Duke. I'm a Clemson man. Fucking Mike Krzyzewski could show up at my house and say, "Mr. Neely, I'm glad to meet you." I would tell that rat-faced fuck to get the fuck off my porch before I put my Clemson boot in his motherfucking rat-face having ass.
Whoa, badass. You're talking about a living legend here.
Talking about a little bitch who ain't got back surgery.
We're talking about Mr. 1,056 wins.
Fuck that. You know what? Fuck that. Fuck Coach K. Fuck Duke. Your Cameron Indoor Stadium. One of these days, Durham, something really bad is going to happen to you and your whole city. That's not a threat. I'm just saying, your hubris and your arrogance has pretty much brought it upon you. If a fucking comet were to come out the sky and strike you, I need not wonder why. That's all I got to say. Need not wonder why.
All right, so wow. I mean, it kind of did sound like a little bit of a threat, but not like towards them. Maybe like at that area.
Yeah, I didn't threaten nobody.
Well, I think we're gonna have to come up with a disclaimer.
Yeah, I didn't threaten anybody. I'm just letting them know that karma is not going to be good when it judges them.
I definitely believe in karma myself. I believe that you do something bad, it's gonna come back and get you in the end.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they're getting their payout. Sooner or later, the payout will be happening.
Well, I've said this before. I think Mike Krzyzewski has sold his soul to the devil, and I think eventually the devil's gonna come looking for his due, and that's gonna be it, Mike Krzyzewski. He's gonna have a heart attack on the court or a heart attack outside somewhere, and that's gonna be the end of it. And that's just the devil.
Just Satan coming to collect his due.
That was just Satan collecting his due.
You know what? I believe it. I do. I believe it.
So, so moving on. The new rankings came out this week, and we have a new number one after Baylor got stomped out by West Virginia 89-68.
God, it's ass whooping.
I mean, they just absolutely whooped their ass. But the new number one is Villanova at 17-1. We have Kansas at 2 at 16-1. UCLA at 3 at 18-1. Gonzaga at 4 at 17-0, which makes you scratch my head a little bit on why they're not a little bit higher.
Well,
maybe
it's because of what they play. I mean, the people they're playing. I mean, they are undefeated, but it's not like they're playing in the ACC.
So it's kind of like Western Michigan of football.
Sort of. But Gonzaga is actually known to be really good. They're going to make the tournament.
Oh, hell yeah.
They'll probably make it to the 16. I mean, they're good for getting there. And not only that, they have a knack for getting just a little bit further each time they seem to get there.
So, number 5, we have Kentucky at 15-2. Baylor dropped all the way to 6 at 16-1. Creighton at 7 at 17-1. And this surprised me. Also at number 7 is West Virginia at 15-2. Yes, that is right. We have two number 7s, Creighton and West Virginia. They got the same amount of votes, and one team has lost one less game than the other one.
What is this bullshit? There is no 2 7s. There ain't no 2 number 1s. Man, this is what I'm talking about. That's like fucking soccer. Where a tie is like, oh, they tied. Wonderful. Shut the fuck. What do you mean? No one scores a goal in a whole fucking game, and you're like, oh, that was great. Shut the fuck up. There's not 2 7s. One is a 7, one is a 8. My God, is this world gone fucking mad?
I mean, look, badass. I'm not lying. Look, 7-7.
You're not lying. I mean, I trust me. I'm not doubting what your homework. I'm just, how do you have 2 number 7s? There's a 7 and there's an 8. You got to pick one to be one and one to be the other. The hell is it with this world wanting shit to be what it ain't, dude? I don't get it. Don't even get me fucking started.
So moving on, number 9, we have North Carolina at 16-3, 10 Florida State at 16-2, 11 Oregon at 16-2, number 12 Louisville 15-3, Butler at 13 at 15-3, Arizona at 14 at 16-2, Notre Dame 15, 16-2, and Virginia at 16 at 13-3.
And Clemson ain't nowhere near there because they done dropped 4 of their damn ACC games that they've had in a row. I mean, granted they were tough games, but we're just not there in basketball. And until we actually, sorry, Brad Brown, until we get rid of your ass and we actually get somebody who's going to recruit big talent, we're going to be the doormat for the ACC in basketball. We're winning natties in football, but we're shit shatty when it comes to basketball, dude. It's bad.
I gotta disagree with you just a little bit. I wouldn't call him the doormat. I say they're more of a middle of the pack. I say they're not up near the top tier of like making a tournament, but they're right in the middle there where they have a lot of key figures. I mean, they got that transfer from Texas A&M who was redshirting last year or this year, part of this year, and he's playing part of the year. So he's eligible again now.
Historically, Clemson's the doormat, though, man. I mean, we can beat Wake Forest. I mean, we get thrashed by Duke, UNC, Louisville, NC State,
All good teams.
Florida State, Georgia Tech. I mean, these teams are consistently whooping our ass. I mean, we are the doormat. We really are.
So the rest of the top 25, there's some surprises. Wisconsin at 17, Duke at 18, Florida at 19, Cincinnati at 20, Purdue at 21, Xavier at 22, St. Mary's at 23, South Carolina at 24, and Maryland rounding out the top 25.
Correct. And I mean, that's a lot of good teams stacked too. I mean, that's the one good thing about the college basketball. There's parity in it to where there are a lot of good teams all across the country. That's why the tournament's so goddamn popular.
And big.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why they put the 68 teams in there.
It's nationwide.
I mean, it's huge.
I mean, believe me, we're going to be covering that shit like white on rice, paper plate, glass of milk, snowstorm. We're going to be all over that shit.
So, badass, you know me, I'm a stats guy. We've talked about it before.
Stats. Oh, I know you love your stats.
So I wanted to break down a little bit of the top 25, and surprise, surprise, ACC at the top. They have 6 people in the top 25, Notre Dame, North Carolina, Florida State, Louisville, Virginia, and Duke.
Hey, bring your A game, bro. This is the ACC. This ain't that doormat shit no more. Like the SEC, your dominance is over. Sorry. Y'all, if y'all didn't have Alabama to hang your hat on, crickets.
You know what really helped the ACC is bringing in a lot of the Big East teams. When the Big East kind of broke down, you know, they brought in some of their teams.
Louisville was a great addition.
Syracuse,
Great addition.
Pittsburgh.
Great addition.
I mean, all great
Notre
teams.
Dame, even though Notre Dame's kind of on their island because they're a bunch of little cocksucks. They're like, oh, we don't want to give up our NBC money. We don't want to join a conference. Well, you ain't going to win a national title either. Fucking retards. Join a fucking conference. You're not fucking special, assholes.
So second was the Big East. They have Villanova, Creighton, Butler, and Xavier. And then you have the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC with 3 teams each. Big 12's got Kansas, Baylor, and West Virginia. Big 10's got Maryland, Wisconsin, Purdue. And the SEC has Kentucky, Florida, and South Carolina. All great teams.
You know who's going to be a shock this year that's going to go deeper into the tournament, I think, than people were expecting? Is probably South Carolina. And y'all got to keep watch on Kansas. You don't never know.
I know, and I mean, I'm telling you, I listened to that game on the way home tonight, the South Carolina-Florida game, which South Carolina actually beat Florida. That was one hell of a game. That was going back and forth. And, I mean, South Carolina had the lead. They had a 6-point lead, and Florida fought back. And then South Carolina pulled away a little bit, and Florida came back. I'm not sure what the final was because I haven't had a chance to look at it. Because by the time I got home, there was still about 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game. So, but I did know that I looked earlier. But I can't remember what the score was, but I know South Carolina did win that game.
That is true. They did. And it's, since we're talking on SEC basketball at the moment, let me ask you this: is this finally the fall of Calipari in Kentucky?
No, because I think Kentucky's going to be there. Kentucky is a lot like what Alabama is in football. They're one of those teams that they don't rebuild, they just reload.
That's true.
And Calipari, just like Mike Krzyzewski, they have backups on backups on backups. They have guys that are probably still playing in high school that have not verbally committed to their school yet.
But they know they're where they're
but
going.
they know that's where they're going because they've already recruited them a little bit, which, that's a fine line in itself. But, they're out there recruiting and everything, and they have backups for backups for backups. So, again, they're not rebuilding, they're reloading.
Kind of like how Clemson's doing now in football.
Exactly.
We're just putting fucking bullets back into the magazine.
Yeah. So, I mean, Kentucky's one of those teams that they're not going anywhere for a while. They're a lot like an Indiana team. They're a lot like a Duke team. They're a lot like a North Carolina team. There are teams that are constantly up in the Final Four.
Kansas.
Winning championships.
Connecticut.
Yeah. I mean, they're guys, they're ones that are just out there doing what they do every year. And as the seniors are going out, they're bringing the juniors and sophomores up, and they're just as good as what the seniors were leaving.
And a really quick shout out, because this is really going outside of our realm, because I'm not even going to pretend to really act like I know what I'm talking about. But I do know this. Shout out to the women's Connecticut team, because y'all just broke your own damn record for consecutive wins. I think it's quite clear that Gino Ariema is like fucking a god, a guru of fucking basketball, at least for the females. Because you talking about a team that does not rebuild. That of all the teams that we just listed that reload, that's the fucking team that reloads.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They don't ever fucking lose, and when they do, they haul off and do another 90, 92, 95, 100 fucking wins. I mean, they just these people might actually win 100 games in a row. I mean, listen, they might not lose again for another year or two. I mean, let that sink into y'all's fucking nuggets. Look up Gino Ariema's record. You will shit your pants.
He makes Belichick look like a bitch.
Seriously, like, just look up that man's record. You will shit.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, in fact, you know what? How about I just do it for him right now? Here, you go ahead and fill it. And I
gotcha. But yeah, I mean, those guys, they don't rebuild. They just reload. I mean, they're like kind of like that Tennessee team with Knight, where she just came in and every year they had a real good team in Tennessee.
Yeah, was it Pat Smith? Was it
Pat Smith?
It's Pat Knight. Pat Smith. God, what was her name?
What was her name?
Pat something.
Summit. Pat Summit.
Pat Summit. There you go.
There you go. Pat Summit. Yeah.
Summit. There you go.
You know, rest in peace. I mean, hell of a coach. She was another one that, for a while there, she wasn't in rebuilding. She was reloading, and Tennessee was winning championships left and right with her.
Here is Gino Ariema's head coaching record overall. His overall record is 969 wins to 134 losses. That's a fucking .88% winning record. And you know what? You're going to be disgusted to know how many losses he's taken at Connecticut. Because it is stupid low.
I'd say under 10.
Oh, it's stupid low, dude. It's bad. I don't think people understand. Like, this man has not lost a whole lot. Like, he really hasn't. I mean,
he's really the GOAT of women's college basketball.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. And no one is ever going to take that away from him.
And they're still rolling. They're just in the middle of their dynasty right now. They're not even close to being finished yet.
That's what I'm saying. It's just, it's unreal how well this team runs. It's a fucking machine. It's a machine.
So what I want to do now is I want to kind of look over what happened this week. We had a lot of big games happen, and I want to kind of discuss them a little bit. On Tuesday of last week, we had, of course, number 10 West Virginia whooping the piss out of number 1 Baylor, 89-68. We had number 3 Villanova blowing out number 15 Xavier, 79-54. And we had number 9 Florida State dominating number 7 Duke, 88-72.
That's true. And then not only that, like, Florida State whipped up on Duke and then turned around and got their asses kicked by UNC. Like, it's a round robin in the ACC. Dude.
It really is. I mean, it's you're going to win a game, then you're probably going to lose a game. Then you're probably going to win like 2 games.
It's sharks
eating
eating sharks.
Lose a game. Oh, it is.
It really is.
The dog-eat-dog world, right?
For real. It really is. It's sharks eating sharks in that league.
So moving on to Wednesday, we had number 8 Creighton defeating number 12 Butler, 75-64. Number 14 Louisville edging out Pitt, 85-80. And we had Michigan State upsetting number 24 Minnesota, 65-47.
I could see that. I mean, I could see all those scores because that's one thing I know about basketball is that some teams are just better equipped to score and some are better equipped to just shut it down. So I enjoy it when you got a game where it's like 48 points won it, or a game where you're like, damn, 89 points won it. Like, that is one great interesting thing about basketball. You either are going to have a low-scoring defensive struggle or someone is going to get their ass blown out.
Now, the number 8 Creighton versus number 12 Butler was a Big East battle, and that's 2 teams that just joined the division after the division fell apart. And then we have Louisville and Pitt, who was a big Big East battle. Those guys had a very long rival with each other in the Big East. Now we're moving over to the ACC, and they got the 5-point victory over them.
And they get to continue that rivalry. And then what's good is that that's good for our league because not only that we're already stacked and we got more stacked.
Did we even mention Syracuse?
That's what I'm talking about. Like, dude,
I could do. Did we mention Syracuse and all that?
We didn't.
Syracuse is in there too. Jim Boeheim.
Yeah, you can't count them out. Listen, every time someone counts them out, they end up going to the Final Four or fucking winning. They cut the Nets down to 1 year. No one gave them a chance to win the damn thing. They went all the way through the tournament, fucking won it. They caught fire. You got a Hall of Fame head coach and you got good talent. It don't really matter, dude. That's one good thing about Madness is because a team can limp their ass into it, catch fire, when whole fuck that.
What's crazy is a lot of teams like the 7th, 8th, 9th, up and above to the 15th. A lot of those guys, maybe not the 15th, because a lot of the 15th are guys that are getting at-large bids from shitty conferences and have good records because, of course, they play in a shitty division. But a lot of like the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seeds, a lot of these guys have 8, 9, 10 losses in the season before the season's out. And that's because college basketball, it's just one of those games where, you could win a couple games in a row. The next thing you know, you could lose 3 in a row, and they come out and win 5 in a row, and then win one and lose one, especially playing like in a big division like the ACC, the Big East, the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, one of those big conferences, Pac-12.
Look at Clemson. They were 11-2 and have since now lost 4 straight. I mean, and they're not even dusting. Clemson was looking like they might go to the dance. They're not going this year.
Oh, definitely not.
No.
Not after these 4 straight.
They're going to continue getting their ass handed to them in league. It's going to be bad.
The only way they'll be able to do it, and this is what's great also about basketball, is that teams that you don't expect to make it in have a good run in their conference championship. And they end up making it as a big at-large bid.
Well, here's what I'll say, and I want you to name the last time this happened. When they tallied up the schedules at the end of the football year, Clemson had the number 1 strength of schedule. Starting the basketball year, Clemson had the number 1 strength of schedule. So, for all y'all out there to think that we're all soft here, y'all can shut your dick suckers now, because we take on the world, apparently.
So, on Thursday, we had Iowa shocking number 17 Purdue 83-78, which that's a pretty big surprise. Purdue is another one of those teams that have always been around there. They're always up there in the tournament. They're one of the teams that I can't even know the last time that they've not made a tournament. It might be 6, 7 years ago that Purdue did not make a tournament.
So they're actually a perennial, they're good.
They're ones that sometimes they don't have a great season, but they sneak in there. And then sometimes they have a season like they're having this year where they're having a really good season and are going to come in strong.
It's going to be interesting because, like you said, some of these teams, they're going to drop out of existence. And we're not even going to, they're going to lose too many games because you're right. It's too many good teams. Somebody's got to win. Someone's got to lose. It's a zero-sum game.
We also had number 20 Notre Dame edging out Miami 67-62. We had number 22 Cincinnati squeaking by SMU 66-64. And we also had Utah upsetting number 25 USC 86-64.
Yeah, I bet you that was a shocker too because you don't ever usually talk about Utah basketball.
No, I mean, they back in the day, yes. Back in like the 90s, maybe early 2000s, yes. But as of recently, no.
No.
They've definitely taken a step back.
Yeah. I was like, I keep hearing people talk about New Mexico is coming back. And I'm like, nah. I heard that bullshit out of Roy Philpott last year, and he was fucking so goddamn wrong. Like, it was bad.
You know how during bowl season we talked about Bloody Wednesday, being horrible in our picks?
Yeah, because I went 0-4 that day.
And I think we went, in our picks, we were like 2-6.
It was ugly.
No, actually, I think Wednesday we didn't win any. I think we were 0-4.
We did. That's what I mean. It was Bloody Wednesday. There wasn't a single game won that day in bowl season.
Well, Saturday was Bloody Saturday for college basketball because we had some upsets and some really surprises going on. We had number 14 Louisville dominating number 7 Duke 78-69.
Phew.
We had number 11 UNC crushing number 9 Florida State 96-83. We had number 10 West Virginia edging out Texas 74-73. We had number 12 Butler squeaking out a victory over number 15 Xavier 83-78. Number 19 Virginia beating Clemson 77-73. And like you said before, that's their fourth
straight losses.
That's four actually.
Four, is it
Four.
4 or 5?
It's four. I checked it and
It
it was
started with Georgia Tech. We lost to UNC, then Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Virginia. Because we played somebody else in that.
no. I checked it out. It's four because
It's
it
4.
is four. And of course, we're talking about before that they had a 9-game winning streak going on before that.
Right.
So we also had number 20 Notre Dame just getting by Virginia Tech 76-71, and it took overtime for number 23 Florida to defeat Georgia 80-76.
Damn. And Georgia's not known for having a good program.
Oh yeah, and
Florida is, but not Georgia.
no, and that kind of surprised me a little bit, and that's why I'm not really surprised that South Carolina beat Florida tonight after struggling with Georgia. Something's going on with that program right now. They're not clicking.
No.
And they're struggling somewhere in there. I'm not sure where it is, but they're struggling. And now they almost lose to a Georgia team, and they lose tonight to a South Carolina team.
Seems like ever since they lost Billy Donovan, dude, they just haven't been the same.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Billy Donovan, ever since he left and went to doing broadcast strictly now for the SEC network, yeah, all you guys can go suck his dick over in the SEC network. Yeah, I hate the fucking SEC. I hate them as much as I hate Alabama, as much as I hate.
No, you don't want to watch some Paul Feinbaum?
Fuck no, I don't watch no Paul Feinbaum. Fuck him and the horse he rode in on.
Trust me, I'm with you. I can't stand Feinbaum either.
So on Monday we had number 2 Kansas struggling against Iowa State, but they got the victory 76-72. We had number 7 Creighton edging out number 22 Xavier 72-67, and we had, of course, number 9 North Carolina beating Syracuse 85-68 for Williams' 800th win.
Yeah, you already know how I feel about Roy.
Yeah, I know. We won't even touch that because you go on another 10-minute tangent, we'll be here all night.
That's true, though.
So, looking at today's games, we had Cincinnati edging out Temple 81-74. Of course, like I said before, we had South Carolina beating the Gators. They ended up winning 57-53 in a 4-point victory. We had Virginia beating Boston College 71-54. We had Florida State barely beating Notre Dame 83-80. And just went final in overtime. Oklahoma upset number 7 West Virginia 89-87. So we're going to have a lot of big shakeups next week in our polls.
And that's the good thing about college basketball is there is constant shakeup. That's why they can't post the spreads in advance. There's just no fucking way to tell.
I mean, look at all those games right there. That's exactly why they can't post the games, the odds, that far in advance.
Right, there's too many good matchups. There's too much shit that could go on.
Because a team that you could be telling, oh yeah, I'm going to give them 10 points, and it leads to some shitty scrub team. Now you're thinking, okay, well, I don't want to give them that many points. I got to shave that points down now. Just too much of a headache.
It is too much of a headache. No, that's really hard to gamble on those games because, man, one night these motherfuckers come out waxing, and then the next night just come out so fucking flat. Like, unless your hand is on the pulse of that team, there ain't no way to know.
All right, so that was it for the week on all the games. We had a lot of interesting stuff happen, some upsets. So next week is going to be very interesting to see how the shakeup goes for next week. But now we move on to this next week, and we're going to do our picks now. And it's finally time to do our picks. Like I said, we can't do it against the spread. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a pick 'em.
Sounds good to me, brother.
Easy peasy.
Lemon fucking squeezy.
Just pick who we think's going to win the game. That's all we have to do. So, on Thursday, we have number 14 Louisville versus Clemson.
I'm taking Louisville.
I definitely agree on this. Clemson's on the way down, 4-game losing streak.
About to be 5.
About to be 5. Not looking good for Clemson.
Brad Brown, listen, Clemson, listen, Dan. D-Rad. Can I call you D-Rad, Mr. fucking Radakovich, our athletic director? I love you, man. I do. You have been instrumental in bringing us a title and some good change to Clemson, and you've got the ball rolling. But you fucking goddamn please fire Brad Brownell. When will you realize he fucking sucks? Fuck.
So our next game we have on Thursday, we have number 16 Arizona versus number 25 USC. Oh man, that's a tough game to pick because both squads are very good. But I'm really liking USC in this one
Who's
because
the home team?
USC is the home team.
I'm rolling with the home team.
All right.
Sometimes being at home is exactly what sets the difference.
All right, so on Saturday we have number 20 Notre Dame versus Syracuse. See, this is another one that it's another Big East battle, and I'm telling you, like with these games, it's hard to pick them because a lot of these teams you don't know which team's going to come out, which team's going to play.
Notre Dame just come off a hard game, correct?
Yes, they did.
I like Syracuse.
Do you?
If they just come off a hard game, yeah.
The game's being played in Notre Dame.
See, I like Jim Boeheim to go in there and steal one now.
All right, so we'll go ahead and take Syracuse. Our next game on Saturday is going to be number 14 Louisville versus number 9 Florida State.
I like Florida State. And this is why. I've been doing some listening to people who are on radio that know a little bit more about college basketball than I do. I'm definitely not afraid to admit it. And I've been hearing a lot of consensus on the fact that Florida State might be one of those teams that could very well win the whole fucking thing. Like, they could dance right through March Madness because apparently they got the players to get it done. That's the consensus I've been hearing.
All right, so we'll go ahead and take Florida State. Our next game is number 4 UCLA versus number 16 Arizona. And this game is being played at UCLA.
I like UCLA.
And I like UCLA at home.
Yeah.
I mean, UCLA just plays really good at home. And I don't see them having any problems with Arizona.
It's a hard place to go into and win.
And the question is that, if USC beats Arizona, how far they, and then they lose to UCLA on Saturday, they'll be out of the top 25.
Done, yeah.
You won't see them in the top 25 unless they somehow miraculously
Go on
a run. But I see them dropping out of the top 25 after this week.
I do too.
So we're going to go ahead and take UCLA at home. Our next game, we have number 18 Wisconsin versus number 24 Minnesota. And this game is being played in Minnesota.
I like Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's a really good team. They're well-rounded, country boys.
They can ball though.
And they can ball. They're kind of like Indiana, the country boys.
You're like, how the fuck can these assholes play basketball?
Our next game, we have number 10 West Virginia versus number 25 Kansas State. And, I was a big country roads guy in football.
I'm a big country road guy in basketball.
And I'll be a country road guy in basketball, too. I'm liking country roads versus Kansas State. I don't think they have any problems. I know they're coming off that loss.
But they get some revenge.
But I think they're going to get some revenge. They're going to be pissed off and they'll come out and they're going to whoop the absolute shit out of Kansas State.
I tend to agree with that.
Our next game is number 7 Duke versus Miami. See, Duke right now, they're on decline. And actually, they're not even... When I did these picks here, I didn't even have the updated thing on them. So I say number 7 Duke, but they're actually number 17 Duke now because they fell in the
I think
in the
Duke
polls.
will beat Miami though.
You really think?
I do.
After losing 2 straight, you don't think?
I do. I think Duke will win that game. Their backs will be to the wall. They'll have no chance and no choice, and they know it. They'll play extra hard. They'll win.
All right, our last game for Saturday, we have number 1 Baylor versus TCU. And TCU's got a really good record. They've only lost like 3 or 4 games this season.
And that's a rivalry game.
And that's a rivalry game. So Is Baylor going to be able? I think Baylor's going to win, but
Barely, but yeah.
they're not going to win by as many as people think they are.
No.
Like if they put 15 points out on this one, I'd almost be willing to take TCU and lay some points.
I feel you. I'm not gonna lie, because that's a rival game, but Baylor will rebound from losing.
Yes, I mean, granted, TCU is a better football team than they are a basketball team, but it's a rival game, and no matter where you put it, rival game is a rival game, and you play hard.
Out the window, right?
And records out the window, and they're actually, like I said, they haven't lost 3 or 4 games this year. So I mean, they're not a bad team. They're right on the cusp of maybe making that top 25 leap. If they keep playing the way they're playing.
I mean, they're gonna have a lot to prove, but Baylor was the number 1 team for a reason. They're gonna have their fucking work cut out for them.
All right, so on Monday night we have Duke versus NC State.
See, that's where I think Duke will rebound, but I think NC State, when they come back home, I think they realize, like you said, they're down. They're not that good, and neither is NC State, but NC State is sure as shit not going to lay down for Duke.
But it is being played in Cameron. I'm liking Duke and Cameron against NC State.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I agree with that.
I think this is where they start bouncing back. They're going to get that win against Miami on Saturday, and then they're come out and they're going to get the win against NC State on Monday. And I think definitely start making that run back towards the top 10 again.
That's actually not, you know what? That's a good scenario, too, and that's likely to happen.
And Shevsky will be back here soon, too, so.
Oh, fucking rat face fuck. Go have another back surgery, bitch.
So on Tuesday, we have two really big games. We have Kansas versus our boys Country Roads. And I love you, Country Roads, but
like
Kansas
more.
Kansas is just a better team.
Is it actually out there in Kansas?
Hang on 1 second. Let me check that out. It is. No, it's being played in West Virginia.
I still like Kansas.
It doesn't matter. Kansas is just a better team.
Yeah. If this were going on out there, I'd still say that you've got no shot, but I mean, you stand a better chance in your own home.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're not going to blow them out, but they're going to beat them by double digits.
Easily.
In our other game on Tuesday, we have Virginia versus Notre Dame, a big ACC rival.
I like Notre Dame in that game.
You do?
I do.
That game is being played in. I'm not sure because it's not on the list. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't see it on my list here real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. It's being played in Notre Dame.
Yeah, if it's in South Bend, that's even better.
It's in South Bend, so I'm liking Notre Dame myself, too. And then our last 3 games we get to pick are going to be on Wednesday. We have UCLA versus USC in a big rival game. That's tough, but I'm
taking UCLA.
I'm still liking UCLA.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, UCLA is one of those just powerhouse teams that have really, really built over the last couple of years. I mean, granted, yes, it's being played at USC.
I don't think it
but
matters.
I don't think it's really going to matter. UCLA is just a well-rounded team, and I don't see them having any issues with USC.
I agree.
Our next game is another rival game. We have Baylor versus Texas Tech.
See, again, I think Texas Tech will play good, but I think Baylor is going to overwhelm them with talent.
And this game's being played at Baylor, too, so, I mean...
Yeah, Baylor's talent will overwhelm Texas Tech.
This is not the Texas Tech that had old Bobby Knight on it, either.
No, this ain't your Bobby Knight's Texas Tech. That's correct.
They're way past that. Way past that.
Chair throwing and all.
I miss that. That really brought fun to the game.
It really did. Bobby Knight was a fucking psycho. I loved it.
All right. So we're taking Baylor. In our last game, we have Butler versus Seton Hall. I'm liking Butler.
See, I like Butler too, but it wouldn't shock me if Seton Hall shocks everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's their game.
But, it's another thing with like Big East and ACC. I know as far as talent level, they're not there yet, but they're second best.
They're making strides.
I mean, they lost a lot of good teams when they, had some teams that left.
They restructured.
They restructured it. So, I mean, they did bring in some good teams like Butler, and Creighton, decent teams.
And these are teams that make the tournament year in and year out.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, these are teams that play well when they get there. I mean, Creighton's claim to fame is they shocked Duke not long ago. I mean, no one saw them beating Duke, and they did. Handily.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because, like I said, the point I was getting to, the Big East, I mean, they're a lot like the ACC. You're going to have battles within your division, and you're going to come out, you could end up winning the division in Big East overall for the season, but you're going to have 8 or 9 losses while doing that.
That's true, because when you're that stacked, the Sharks will eat the Sharks.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Seton Hall could come out and upset them, but
It's not likely.
I don't think it's going to happen. I'm comfortable with taking Butler.
Absolutely.
All right.
They are the better team.
So that is it for our picks for the week. And that's actually going to officially do it for our show. We had a very, very, very long show this week. And, we're now working into the 2-hour mark, which is our longest show yet. So, definitely you guys keep listening. We're at Facebook at the Burger and Badass Show at Facebook.com or the Burger and Badass Show at YouTube.com. You guys can go check us out. Once I get some of the clips loaded up, we actually decided. No. We actually decided this week that we're gonna actually just go out and buy the editing software because trying to find a free one is bullshit.
Yeah, we're gonna drop some cheddar.
It's not working, so we're gonna just go out and buy an editing system. And once I do that, I'll be loading all the shows up. So you guys get ready because it's gonna be a show overload. You guys can go back and listen, comment, let us know what you guys think.
You better go on a fucking marathon, because if you don't, I will find you.
It's going to be like kind of like Game of Thrones marathon or Supernatural marathon. It's one of the things that new season comes out, you start at episode 1, and you just watch them straight through to the end.
And listen, I'm already expecting a wave of hate. I keep telling you, bring it. I don't give a fuck how much you hate. You can hate all you want, because guess what? I'm a white fucking male. I voted fucking for Donald Trump. Hate on that shit all you want. It makes me fucking happy as hell when I wake up in the morning and I realize I've fucking hurt someone's feelings and you done got all fucking emotional. Oh, Jesus. That just makes me fucking smile. Makes my teeth whiter.
And before we go for the night, a couple more days, and guess what?
Oh, the inauguration.
It's official.
Oh, man. Dude, they showed pictures of the staffers moving out of the White House today. Them motherfuckers were in tears and cries. Just like, oh, yes.
Oh, yes. The tears. Taste the hate and the upsetness.
Listen, at high noon, come Friday, we're going to swear in the man. We're going to start getting shit done. The children are finally out of power. The fucking adults can go back to fucking getting shit done. So, y'all just sit back and enjoy the ride, because in the words of your guy, we won. You lost. Get over it.
All right, guys. So make sure you guys definitely go check us out. Again, the Burger and Badass Show at Facebook.com or the Burger and Badass Show at YouTube.com. I'll be getting your clips up once I get that software here and loaded up on my computer. And it's going to be like a show overload. So definitely set aside a couple hours to listen to us.
We're making you a show promise here and now. If Burger doesn't have this done by the Super Bowl, we're going to make him dance in some kind of fucking ballerina outfit. And we're going to film it. And we're going to put it on our fucking shit like Facebook Live.
How many shows do I have to have on there before that happens?
No, you just got to crack the damn egg, man. As long as you got one, it don't matter.
I get one up.
I don't you don't have to suffer punishment from the fans, because the fans are out there wanting to fucking take your balls and twist them into jelly.
I'm having a lot of people come and ask me, when are you guys loading the show? When are you going to do the show?
Listen, I got people on deck wanting to know why we're bullshitting. Literally, I'm not kidding when I say I got about 30 people wanting to know what the fuck is going on, dude. From people I work with to people I hang out with, people I know a little bit, people I know a lot of bit. There's a lot of people wanting to listen to what we're doing here because they know this shit's different. They know how the fuck I am, so they know what to expect.
So,
well, except for some. Some of them don't, but they'll learn.
I'll learn. So that is going to be it for the show this week. Episode 17 is done in the books. We'll be back again next Wednesday to do our show again. Talk more college basketball, any sports stories that are going on. We'll talk a little bit NFL, the playoffs, preview the Super Bowl a little bit. I know we don't talk about NFL that much because we're more of a college, but we do want to touch on it because it is sports. And that is going to do it for this week. So for Burger and Badass, we'll see you guys next week. Badass, you have anything to add?
Cue the music.
Cue the music.
Cue the music.